If you love the outdoors, Reno and Northern Nevada might just be the best kept secret in all of the West. From world-class skiing to breathtaking hiking trails and stunning lakes, this city offers outdoor adventures you won't find anywhere else. So whether you're thinking of moving here or just visiting, let's explore why Reno and the surrounding areas is an outdoor lover's paradise. Today, we're going to talk about all things outdoors. And yes, these are not all just right here in Reno. They are in Northern Nevada, and we kind of look at everything within an hour or so of where we are because there's an amazing outdoor life here. As always, we have Sydney on.
Hi, thanks for having me.
As always. And so we want to talk about the four seasons and how outdoor activity happens here all year long. So what are some of the things that people need to be aware of, knowing that if you like to be outside, you can do it here and you can do it year round. So let's talk about some of those things.
Yeah, definitely. So whether you're a summertime outdoors person or a wintertime outdoors person, we have both. So it's not necessarily going to matter if, I don't really love skiing. Why would I move to Reno? Well, if you like to hike and to bike and to be outside in the summertime, we have we have 300 days of sunshine and we have a wonderful hiking system. I mean, we live at the base of the Sierra Nevada mountains. You can't get much closer than that.
Well, the cool part is I can remember times playing golf outside till 8:30, almost 9 o'clock at night.
Oh.
And you're able to do so many things. It doesn't get extremely hot.
Nope.
It doesn't get crazy cold. I mean, it's pretty rare you and I to have big jackets on, whatever the case may be. So it's not something that happens all the time. So again, not many days over 100, not many days below 30. You can do this all year long. And what are some of the things, like, let's go by season. So at the time of recording, we're kind of wintertime.
Yeah.
First things people think of.
Skiing, snowmobiling, snowshoeing. I mean, you could cross-country ski if you really wanted to. I don't know why you would want to torture yourself that way, but we have it.
Right, and keep going.
Into the spring and into the summertime is when people obviously start getting outside more. You're going to hike a lot. You'll see people walking dogs all the time. People mountain bike. They street bike here as well. Anything that you could possibly...
skateboard parks.
Absolutely.
I mean, you name it. There's people doing things all the time. We're going to get into specific places.
Yes.
Specific things that people can go and do.
Mm-hmm.
And as we lead more into the fall weather, so I always tell people there's certain things that you can do in the summer, but in the spring and the fall, it's probably a little bit better. What are some of those outdoor activities before we start really getting specific and telling people where to do these?
I would definitely say that hiking in the spring and the fall are definitely easier, considering that we do get a little bit hot in the summer. And depending on your ability to be outside in those types of conditions, the spring and the summer are definitely the best for those, or the spring and the fall, excuse me.
And I think there's a lot more lakes and water around that people are unaware of. I know if you're a skier and you go Monday through Thursday, I mean, I've been on ski resorts where literally it feels like you're skiing on your own. Obviously, if you go on weekends or holidays, and even when we talk about Lake Tahoe, obviously in the summertime, when you go up there and those places get really crowded. So doing things a little bit off season, and when you live here, you can do that, or a whole lot better. Access to getting all these things, again, depending on what part of town you live in, it's amazing what you can do anywhere from 20 to 60 minutes away, or even things right in town.
Yeah. And I think a big thing for us is the hiking and trail running are big here. And as somebody, you used to run marathons. I don't know if you ever did much trail running, but, what was your kind of experience with that?
Well, running, like you said, if you were doing marathon running, I was just running it through neighborhoods, through streets. I used to run through new construction zones just because, if you run far enough, sometimes you're looking for a restroom.
Yes.
My best friend used to run ultra marathons. He used to run 50, 100 milers. You have world class. You go up to Lake Tahoe. If you go to the Olympics,
yes,
and you talk about, or you listen to the Winter Olympics, there's always people from the lake, Reno, North Tahoe. Like it's crazy how many people, and you don't realize it because sometimes when things are in your own backyard,
right? It's
like I joke, like I have friends that live in Arizona, never been to the Grand Canyon.
Crazy.
I know. So it's like you forget sometimes what's right there in your own backyard. So what we're trying to do is today talk to people that already maybe live here or people that are coming here and let them know specific places that they can go and do all these things, and you can do them almost anywhere. It's funny, I'm not running marathons anymore, but it used to be really fun to wake up 4 or 5 in the morning and go run in the dark. It was just so quiet. It was so peaceful. There's nobody around.
When you were running marathons and training with Ken, your friend that did ultra marathons, how does elevation play into that?
So it's funny you ask that, because people that are moving here, and you see it when you're showing them houses, they walk up a flight of stairs and they're out of breath. It is definitely high elevation training. So the lowest point where the airport is like 4,300. But I ran my first ever marathon around a portion of Lake Tahoe, and the lowest point I think was 6,200 feet all the way up to 7,500 feet. It's hard, but your body adjusts, you get used to it here. But part of my training, I had a trip, I went to San Diego. Oh my God, I felt like I could run all day long because all of a sudden now you're at sea level and the air felt like thick and I was really breathing it in. So you have to be prepared for that. And when you do go and do outdoor winter, especially sports up at Lake Tahoe, top of Mount Rose is 10, 11,000 feet. You could be sitting there clipping in your snowboard boots and you're like, and you're just dying up there. So something people need to be aware of. I know, like when I skied in a lot of other communities, you're at a much lower elevation.
Definitely.
Which also helps us when, people think we're not going to get a lot of snow, but that elevation's so high where they get the snow up there and it's not down here.
I will say, though, with the hiking trails that we do have throughout here, I mean, we have some good beginner ones. Like the Hunter Creek Trail is about 6 miles round trip. It leads you to a 40-foot waterfall. So most of the time, what people will do for that is hike the 3 miles to the waterfall, sit there, enjoy some lunch, have some fun, swim in the water if you want to, and then they hike back out.
Right.
So we have intro level stuff, and then we can get pretty severe. I know you hiked the Mount Rose Trail.
Yeah,
Tell us about that.
So like when you're driving up towards incline, right as you get to the peak, there's a turnoff, there's a parking lot right there. It's kind of just basically a Mount Rose Trail. It's round trip pushing 11 miles. When you get to the top, you are at really high elevation. You're really exposed, so you got to be paying attention to the weather because you could be out in a really open space and the wind could really be howling up there. So if someone's looking for more difficult, harder things to do, my buddy, when he was running, he used to run it. So you can run it, you can walk it, you can spend time doing it. It's not crazy difficult other than, say, the last mile and a half where it gets a lot steeper, a little more rocky. But again, 11 miles at altitude for some people, if you're not ready for that, you want to start off with some lower elevation kind of training, but there's books, there's websites, there's a million different trails. I mean, there's easier stuff.
Yeah, definitely. There's a big trail system called the Galena Creek Trails. There's all sorts of beginner trails. Everything is marked. So you'll look, there's like a big trailhead trail map that basically states, stay here if you're a beginner, stay here if you're intermediate, if you're advanced, go this way, kind of a thing.
And when we looked it up, it was over 300 miles of trails around town. And what is kind of the big famous one around Reno that people like to go and do it? It's, like I said, people put this on their bucket list of things they'd like to do in their life.
It's the Tahoe Rim Trail.
Yeah.
It's 165 miles around the entire perimeter of Lake Tahoe.
I think you can actually camp up there. Yeah. It's like certain times of year. I know they worry about it more in the wintertime for people because, again, exposed, elevation. Yes. But people don't realize, just to drive around the lake, it's like 72 miles. So when you're running marathons, when I ran mine, there were people that literally ran a marathon 3 days in a row.
I think the next thing in talking about outdoor sports as we move into the wintertime, skiing and snowboarding. I mean, I grew up skiing as a kid. I didn't do it for very long. I got scared with an injury and I quit. But you ski or snowboard all the time. So what kind of mountains do we have up here?
So for people that are local, I mean, the biggest one that people go to is Mount Rose. It's really pretty affordable, and it's only from the south end of Reno, maybe a 25, 30-minute drive. So people can literally go up there in the morning, go skiing. When you get more in that spring season, and there are plenty of times where we went up there, played around on the mountain in the morning, went home, ate lunch, met my buddies at the golf course, and then played 18 holes of golf in the afternoon. So again, we didn't even mention golf, and it's an outdoor activity at this point. But those are the kind of things you can do here because the weather gets nice enough where it's cold enough and elevation up there where this still be able to ski and then come down and do that. There's obviously world-class places, whether it's Heavenly, which is right on that south end of Lake Tahoe, that's right on that California-Nevada border. Whether you go to what's now known as the Palisades, which was Squaw Valley, which has the Olympic signs there from, I think now we're pushing 60 plus years ago. So there's these big places and we forget about them. Again, sometimes when you live here, people are thinking, where can I go in Colorado or Utah or somewhere else?
I know, I forget about it.
Yeah, we do. And it's amazing places to go. I think we looked it up. There's like 12 world-class and a few other more smaller local places that you can go skiing, snowboarding. And then there's also the other sports around there where people can go snowshoeing or Chickadee Ridge, where people who don't know what that is in the summertime, you can put your hands out and birds will eat right out of your hands. But people can do the cross-country skiing through there, snowmobiling. Absolutely. It's crazy all the stuff you can do up there in the wintertime. So now that we were talking about winter stuff up there and we're now, snow is melted.
Yes.
People are like me right now, dusting off our golf clubs, trying to find a warm day to go out and play a little golf. We'll talk about more about golf later. But now all these winter places turn to these awesome lakes.
Yes.
Ideally, if we have a big winter, leads into an even more amazing spring and summer. And so some of the things people are doing on the water are?
People boat all the time. You can rent boats anywhere. You can rent kayaks, paddleboards, all kinds of things, especially at Lake Tahoe. We do have other lakes surrounding us. World-class fishing out at Pyramid Lake. That lake is salt, though. So if you are bringing a boat from somewhere else, please make sure that it is capable to handle salt. That gets all taken care of. But we have water everywhere. And it doesn't seem like it when you first come here because, yes, it's high desert, but the Truckee River runs right through downtown Reno. You'll see people sitting on the river in the middle of the summer with lunch. You'll see people floating the river. Donner Lake. You'll see people all over the place. The one negative, and it's funny, it's happened over the years, is people always talk about the drought years. Yes.
But when we have heavy water years, some of the beaches that we go to, my favorite beach I've gone to for years and years is Sand Harbor.
Yep.
I can go to Sand Harbor and there's been years where literally beach is gone.
Yeah.
There's been so much water, the beach is gone. Other years, 150 yards of beach. Yeah. So you got to pay attention to those things because the negative is in the summertime, especially on the weekends, those beaches now are packed. The parking lots are full. You can't even get into those parking lots anymore.
Sand Harbor, Secret Cove.
For sure.
Zephyr gets packed.
Oh, yeah.
Anything kind of on the South Shore really starts to get busy.
Well, and on that Nevada side.
Yes.
Because, I mean, I think the Nevada side has better beaches than the California side does.
Definitely.
I think there's just more of us. It's easier, closer access for us.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to go these places. But I mean, I'm telling you, when that beach starts to disappear because it's a heavy water season, it's great. The parking lot's full, but that beach gets real crowded.
Definitely.
Real quick. The cool part is, and this is kind of a hack I use, in the summer when people are going there early first thing in the morning,
Yep.
I like to go up there 3, 4 in the afternoon. The sun stays out till 8:30 at night.
Yeah.
And it's pretty warm up there. So a lot of times it's easier to get into the parking lot. And for Nevada residents, I know at Sand Harbor, it's $10.
Yep. Absolutely.
That is all. And right there is you can go up there and stay. And there's the Shakespeare Festival that runs all summer too. So lots of cool things to do outside as far as water sports. And again, Truckee River, which we almost forgot to talk about, runs right through downtown. And in the summertime, when that water's flowing through, what are they doing at the Truckee River?
Well, people will fish too, but they'll kayak down the river. And also, I don't know if people are familiar with this, the term floating the river. So you literally get on inner tubes, like personal little flotation devices, and you can go down the river. Be careful though, the Truckee is considered a whitewater river. So certain sections of the river can have 3 and 4 class rapids, which are not really ones you want to be swimming.
Well, that and then they set up this cool kayaking course.
Yes.
Where again, it gets pretty crowded down there in the summertime, but then the food trucks come out.
Yes.
Again, the water, you got to pay attention because again,
we have a great river walk.
It's water coming off of mountains. It is cold.
It is really cold.
So it feels great when it's 80, 90 degrees outside, but maybe not so much in the spring and fall. So you just got to be paying attention. Same thing with Lake Tahoe. That water can get cold. If you're someone who's thinking about moving to Northern Nevada, do me a favor. Click the link in the description below. It'll give you a copy of our free buyer's guide that'll get you some information on the process to help you get started thinking about moving to Northern Nevada. So another outdoor topic. I mean, you rode horses your whole life. Your brother's got a dirt bike and a quad. What can we tell them about just this random open space and land all over the place that people can use? You know about this better than I do. You and your brother use this stuff way more than I do. Mm-hmm. What can we tell them about people that want to keep their feet on the ground or in a motor or on a horse rather than in the water or on skis and all those kind of things? This is your wheelhouse here.
Well, Nevada is 80% public land. That is access that you have all the time for free without having to do anything, no permits, no nothing necessary. I grew up riding horses, so I have been all through the desert out here just riding horses. And when doing so, I always see people off-roading in dirt bikes, side-by-sides, quads, their cars. And there are actual groups of people. You can join clubs here in Northern Nevada that do this on the weekends, planned events that they go in and explore.
So give me a little bit about the horses and what you used to do.
Yeah, so I used to fox hunt just north of here out in the Red Rock Valley, but horses are very, very prevalent here still. I don't think people really know that about Nevada.
Right.
I think we're much more agricultural than people realize. Horses are everywhere. They are all over the place, wild and domestic.
So when you're out riding horses, because it's funny, we'll talk about some of the places that your brother gets on his dirt bike or his quad, because he talked us into doing that with him, is sometimes these are in the same place.
Yes.
So quads and horses have to look out for each
crossover.
Other. And pretty much a lot of the same lands that you can ride horses on, you can ride all these vehicles on.
Yeah, definitely.
What are some of the places because again, you know better than I, what are some of the places that people are going to or that you've gone with your brother?
Yeah, I think Moon Rocks is the most probably prominent and prevalent. It is, if you're looking at a map of Reno, Spanish Springs, if you look basically to the left where all of the desert is, that's Moon Rocks. In the summertime during the 4th of July, people will literally drive their campers out there, camp the entire weekend, drive all over the desert, and just literally spend the weekend in the desert.
Well, it's funny because you see this where they start bringing all these outdoor vehicles when they come for Burning Man. It sort of gets associated with Reno. All the burners come rolling through our airport and come rolling through our thing. And I know people go out there when Burning Man's not going on for other types of events, but that's a little further away than what we're kind of talking about today.
Yeah, that's down in the Black Rock Desert. That is a massive salt flat. So outdoor recreation, depending on what you want to do, it's an option for you.
And I tell you, this is like desert, dirt roads.
Very, very much more.
And again, if you're looking for real desert, cactus, like sagebrush, dusty, dirty.
That's where you want to be.
Lots of that kind of stuff. But there are also, like when we go to Lake Tahoe, it's a totally different feel and environment than when you're in these dusty places.
Yeah, definitely.
Alpine, trees. It's just a whole different feel. And Nevada is a huge state by land mass. And again, as we get a little further away from Reno, maybe not within the hour, hunting is a huge thing. Pulling tags, what we hunt here. Your brother has gotten into this. Explain to people, if they are not aware of what you can do here?
Yeah, so if you're into hunting of any kind, whether it's big game, birds, things of that nature, we have it. So you do have to pull tags here in Nevada in order to be able to hunt big game and certain species of birds. So with the tagging system, our big game is on a lottery system. So bighorn sheep are definitely the trophy kind of animal that we have here in Northern Nevada, honestly all of Nevada, but mostly towards the mountains. Elk, massive mule deer, white-tailed deer, and a lot of antelope. So those are typically the big game that people are going to be going after here. We do have bird hunting. Our duck hunting is not great here because of the kind of lack of water. So typically more further south towards Gardnerville as you get into marshy land.
Well, it's usually
better.
a little more like set up areas. I know your brother's gone duck hunting. It's like these duck hunting, for lack of a better word, parks or setups.
Yeah, sure.
However that stuff works. But again, Nevada is a huge state. If you drive from Reno and you start heading east, you're going to go like 4 hours before you get to Elko, and you're still not quite to Utah yet. So there is a ton of open, available space out there that people need to understand. So if you like to hunt, depending on what kind of animals, obviously there's different parts of the country for different things. It's a huge, huge thing. And even if you just like to shoot guns.
Yeah, definitely. So we, again, on our public land, be careful the time of year, because obviously in the summertime, if you are going to be firing weapons into sagebrush, please, please, please be cognizant about fire.
Right. And there'll be reports and
yes. And please, I think you have to pay attention to the fire danger. If the fire danger is high that day, you're not allowed to shoot publicly.
Right.
The game wardens will come get you.
For sure. You think you're in the middle of nowhere.
They're around.
They'll find you. The last thing we want to talk about today, this is more my wheelhouse than yours.
Yes.
Is I'm a huge golfer. And there are massive amounts of great golf courses, whether you want to stay in town, go south toward Carson, Gardnerville, Minden, whether you want to be in South Lake, you can go to Edgewood, you want to go to the north end of the lake, you want to go towards Truckee. There's amazing variety, styles, price points. If you're a golfer, it is a huge, huge golfer's paradise up here. It's been really fun because now my kid all of a sudden wants to start playing golf with his dad too, so I don't have to always go out trying to do sports I don't want to do.
Right.
I got him doing things he wants to do. So hopefully we open up their eyes to the massive amounts of things you can do outdoors here, year-round, all the time. And I just think that people sometimes forget. They think of us as a small Las Vegas. They think we're just a casino town. And in reality, we are kind of an outdoor mecca. Yep. And there's things like that I'm sure we didn't even forget to mention. Since we're talking about all activities outdoors, if you're someone who's a golfer like me and you want to learn more about the golf community and golf courses here in Northern Nevada, check out this video right here.